So, a chef-d'oeuvre, I didn't say this, it's the first reviews for The Most Precious of Goods, the film from Michel HAZANAVICIUS. The last film presented in competition here in Cannes. For Télérama, it's a powerful chef-d'oeuvre in the midst of the worst. Le conte est bon. The tale is good, the cruel fairy tale. And the animated chef-d'oeuvre of Michel HAZANAVICIUS for Le Parisien. It's the first time that HAZANAVICIUS has worked in animation, because The Most Precious of Goods is an animated film adapted from a novel by Jean-Claude Gramberg, a novel of the same name. So the setting is the Holocaust, and there's a couple of woodcutters in the Polish forest who find a baby abandoned by the railway line because the father threw the baby from the train to try and save it, the train that was bound for Auschwitz. So the director designed some of the characters. Michel HAZANAVICIUS, of course, the artist, which was in Cannes in competition in 2011, and which got the Best Actor award for Jean Dujardin. He's here with Grégory Gadebois, his woodcutter, the voice of his woodcutter. His brother, Serge HAZANAVICIUS, actor, and Alexandre Desplat, who we can see there, the famous composer who composed the music for the film. Michel HAZANAVICIUS, of course, is The Search, which was in competition here in 2014, or Le Redoutable, a film about Jean-Luc Godard, again in competition. And more recently, in 2022, it was a Final Cut, which takes place in the world of cinema, a film about transmission that finished with his own daughter being cut up with Romain Duris and Bérénice Bejo. This time he's exploring the Holocaust. It's something that he didn't want originally to cover, to tell, because it was too close to his home. He didn't want to become obsessed by the weight of memory. But it's this tale by Jean-Claude Gramberg, who was a family friend, and he knew him well, and it was this that convinced him, his story that convinced him to write a film about the Holocaust. So it's the first time that he has worked in animation. This film was made to a large extent in Angoulême, with a very beautiful, very particular aesthetic. At the beginning, he was thinking about having a more Disney style, and then he found the round, childish, childlike appearance wasn't appropriate, and he looked at Russian painting, he looked at Japanese woodcuts, and then he found a French artist called Henri Rivière, who was influenced by Japan as well. The film pleased the critics a lot, who saw it yesterday. A lot of applause. And some of the critics calling it a chef-d'oeuvre. For the voices of the woodcutter's wife, the other characters, there is Jean-Louis Trintignant, whose last film this is, the voice of the narrator, his last film he made before he died, Dominique Blanc and Grégory Gadebois, the woodcutter and his wife. And here we have Serge HAZANAVICIUS with Michel, their brothers. Serge is an actor. And so a film that's co-produced by people such as the Dardenne brothers, Robert Guédiguian, and Riyad Satouf. They all co-produced this film. It begins like a fairy tale. Once upon a time in a wood, a poor woodcutter and his wife. Misery, hunger, famine is everywhere. They're surrounded by war. One day, the poor woodcutter's wife finds a baby thrown from one of the numbers of train that go through the woods constantly. And this little cargo will change their lives and the lives of everyone that they encounter. Alexandre Desplat, composer, won a number of Oscars and Césars. There's a beautiful score in Michel HAZANAVICIUS' film. He was on board the project right from the beginning. He believed in it right from the very outset. And he invested a great deal in this composition. And HAZANAVICIUS said that he tried to deal with this film working from the inside out. And here is Grégory Gadebois, the actor. He is the voice of the woodcutter. He, of course, was Angèle and Tony. He was in Cannes as well. And for Daniel Auteuil's An Ordinary Case, he was in HAZANAVICIUS's Final Cut and in Redoubtable. He was in Competition in François Ozon's All Went Well. He's a well-known stage actor as well. Molière pour des Fleurs, Flowers for Algernon, and César for Best Rising Star for Angel and Tony. The Most Precious of Goods, a film that the reviews have called a chef-d'œuvre. The story of a baby that is taken in by a woodcutter and his wife. And it's Michel HAZANAVICIUS' first animated film. There have already been animated films in competition. There was Persepolis, which had the jury prize. And René Laloux's film, La Planète Sauvage, a science fiction film with a special jury award in 1973. Alexandre Desplat there. A very, very powerful story with the backdrop of the Holocaust. Michel HAZANAVICIUS hesitated a lot, but the novel by Gramberg and the animation as well enabled him to take a certain distance from the subject matter. These factors influenced him. The story of a woodcutter and his wife who'd taken a baby that was left by the railway tracks, and the story of this Jewish family, two parents and their twins who are arrested in Paris and deported, and in the train bound for Auschwitz, the father throws one of the twins out of the train, hoping to save his life. And this is the precious cargo that is found by the woodcutter's wife. Jean-Louis Trintignant is the narrator. He recorded his part before his death in June 2022. So we've seen the man with the morceau de palmier on his head, seen him many times here. Nobody seems to be bothered by it. Everything's possible in Cannes, and particularly great films, and this is what the press says about this film from Michel HAZANAVICIUS. A lot of applause yesterday on row I at the end of the screening. It was the last film presented in competition. And the jury is deliberating. They're locked away in a villa, hidden away. Everybody would like to be a fly on the wall, but that's not possible. Of course, nobody's ever filmed this. They're not even allowed to talk about their deliberations, even afterwards. Some have given some secrets away, but it should stay in Cannes. What happens in Cannes stays in Cannes. And this is a team for the teams from TV Festival. Michel HAZANAVICIUS and his famous glasses, his hallmark glasses, like Jean-Luc Godard. And of course he made a film about Godard with Louis Garrel called Redoubtable, on Godard and the New Wave. It's a parable with the backdrop of the Holocaust, with The Most Precious of Goods, his first animated film. Final photos, last autographs before the press conference.